Do good, Maverico here. Welcome to podcast episode number 150. I thought I'd jump on and make a quick episode about the dystopian C40 Consortium slash C40 cities. Time to escape the Matrix. You know, when it comes to the dystopian C40 Consortium slash C40 cities, it sounds like some kind of wild conspiracy theory. It's just mind-boggling. When you talk about things like this, it's almost impossible to talk about with people listening without being seen as some kind of conspiracy theorist. But it doesn't take much to be labeled as a conspiracy theorist these days. And a lot of conspiracy theories are true, but yeah. I just saw a clip of Jordan Peterson talking about it. Let me see if I can play that clip for you.
Do you know what the C40 Consortium is? Yeah, well, they're a lot of fun. 40 of the biggest cities in the world. Do you know what the C40 Consortium is? Yeah, well, they're a lot of fun. 40 of the biggest.
All right, let me play the clip from Jordan Peterson for you.
Do you know what the C40 Consortium is? Yeah, well, they're a lot of fun. 40 of the biggest cities in the world. They've all signed on to this. So what's their agenda? You can't even believe this is true. One short haul flight per person every 3 years. 95% reduction in private automobile ownership. No meat consumption.
I know.
No meat consumption.
I mean,
right? And finally, 3 items of clothing a year. That's their plan.
No.
Absolutely. 100%.
3 items of clothing.
C40. It's 3 items of clothing. How much bloody clothing do you need? The planet's at stake. You know what the C.
Absolutely mind-boggling. They have a website. Let's take a look at it. C40.org. C40 is a global network of majors of the world's leading cities that are united in action to confront the climate crisis. The climate crisis, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Global warming, that used to be the phrase, remember? But what happened? Global warming. Well, the planet stopped getting warmer. So what did they do? Oh, snap, we're wrong. No, they didn't admit they were wrong. They just made up a new name. So it's not the global warming problem or the global warming threat anymore. Now it's the global climate change. They just slapped a new name on the madness and just kept going. This is absolutely crazy. The whole theory behind global warming has never been proved. They did some measurements of temperature and then it got warmer, but a lot of those temperatures that were measured in cities, and when the cities, or outside of cities, and when the cities were growing, those measurements, a lot of them turned out to be wrong because, yeah, it was not accurate. But yeah, it's about natural cycles when it comes to global warming. The Earth has been warm and cold in cycles for thousands of years. So this is all about a theory or a hypothesis that has never been proven to be true. Yet millions of people around the world are buying it like it is proven scientifically. Mind-boggling. C40 has 97 member cities. So this is not just a conspiracy theory, I guess this is a conspiracy truth. Isn't this like 97 cities conspiring together to do this? C40 has 97 member cities, but I guess it is really big cities because it says making up more than 22% of the global economy. Wow, that's wild. Seems like the world is going mad. This is like taken out of one of the most dystopian chapters in 1984 by George Orwell, or Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This is wild. But this is not just some dystopian fiction book. This is real life plans. Crazy. C40.org. You can see a bunch of this there. Accelerator reports. Latest reports now available. Since 2017, 74 forward-thinking C40 cities have been driving transformative action in critical sectors through C40's high-impact accelerators. In the latest accelerator reports, we celebrate the progress and impact of cities' climate actions. Yeah. This is not something I've been researching much at all. It's basically that clip of Jordan Peterson that caught my attention. Yeah, this is wild. I'm almost speechless. Let me see if I can find some more information here. Let me see. They have one section that talks about scaling up climate action, water, heat and nature, air quality, energy and buildings, food systems, transportation, ports and shipping, urban planning and design, waste management. Yeah, and a bunch of other things there. Raising climate ambition, influencing the global agenda, building a movement, scaling up climate action. Our cities. Wow. This is wild. I see a map with a bunch of blue and yellow spots. I'm not really sure what this means. Because most of them are blue ones. One of them yellow is Oslo, Norway. Wow. Shanghai, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Houston, Austin, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco. This is wild. Oslo, Norway, Steering Committee, Governing Major, Eirik Lay Solberg, member since 2012. Member since 2012. Wow. This is crazy. I don't know what, I really don't know what to say. This is just mind-boggling. This is actually happening. You know, these plans. I hope they don't follow through, because this would be absolutely mind-boggling. I'm just trying to find where it says what the actual limitations are. You know, some of those things that Jordan Peterson talked about. Here it says 16 cities have pledged to reinvent their food systems by 2030. Does that mean that only 16 of them have pledged to do the crazy food stuff with no meat? Or does it mean that only 16 of them have agreed to do it within 2030, that the other ones are in on it, but they want to do it later? Is that what it means? This website, C40.org, is a mess, but isn't most websites a mess? So yeah, I guess they want to have it foggy and hazy and hard to navigate, because if these crazy things were actually easy to see and find, I guess they are kind of afraid that they would get more opposition.
What is a good life? And what do we want from our lives? People say it's the next generation that is going to solve our global challenges. The talent will figure out the imbalances.
And what if we could rebalance the statuses?
Be the voices that offer solutions to our climate crisis damages.
We're the next generation of hopefulness.
The next generation of openness.
Yet how do we do this without help?
We're the articulate ones, without the funds
or the power
to slow down the what is to becomes. Maybe we just need to stop for one quick second and reprioritize.
Reprioritize what we need to survive.
After all, we need to keep 1.5 alive. Imagine if this could be through how we work. After all, we're the generation that gets it.
Yet we need more jobs that respect this.
We're a generation to inspire doers, not delayers. And although system change has many layers,
evolution doesn't just belong to us.
It starts with teachers, workers,
employers, and mayors.
The next generation is the now generation. We need green and just jobs for all that give more than they take. To us, our cities, and our planet without delay.
So yeah, that was some content from their website and some video clip. But yeah, absolutely mind-boggling. This is like some hippie stuff and virtue signaling taken to an absolute extreme world-class level. And the whole thing based around the wild global warming / global climate change hypothesis. Crazy. Imagine the kind of tyranny and tyranny and also dictatorial things that can be done with something like that, if they actually follow through with the crazy things that Jordan Peterson talked about, with those kind of crazy limits to what people are allowed to do. It's kind of like some communist or socialist madness taken worldwide. C40 cities, the C40 Consortium. On their YouTube channel, I just quickly scrolled through a bunch of the videos on their YouTube channel, and for C40 cities. And one of the videos I saw was something about 15-minute cities. Now, when it comes to 15-minute cities, I think that's a concept in and of its own. a dystopian one as well, but I don't think it's not clear to me that the C40 cities will be 15-minute cities, but who knows? Crazy stuff. And imagine finding yourself trapped in something like that. Who knows how it's going to be? What kind of things these people will put in place? It's time to escape the Matrix. If you look through history, like some of the things that happened in the Soviet Union when it was when Russia was a communistic country, a communist country, the things that happened is just absolutely mind-boggling. If you read the book, The Gulag Archipelago, how is it pronounced in English? The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I've not read the whole book myself. I've listened through some of the audiobook, but just I think I got something like 20% through the book, something like that. But it's just wild what happened. If you didn't know that it was a true book, you would think it was some kind of wild fiction, probably. I don't know what to say. I guess it's time to escape the Matrix and don't be too reliant on these governments and big cities. Who knows what's going to be put in place? If these dystopian C40 consortium / C40 cities and also 15-minute cities is taken in place, who knows? Is there ever going to be a climate or global climate lockdown? We had the COVID-19 lockdown, the corona crisis lockdown, which in hindsight was a joke, and also for many people while it happened. Scary stuff. Who knows? These days, a lot of people living luxury lifestyles with a lot of freedom and things like that. Luxury, super wealthy, multi-millionaires, billionaires. A lot of them are living in cities. Who knows? Is it going to be a thing that a few years from now, maybe a lot of them are living far out on the countryside or even in the wilderness just to escape the madness of the cities and the crazy lockdowns? Who knows? Yeah. For some reason, this just keeps reminding me of Dick Proenneke, Life in the Wilderness. You know, the guy that the man that moved out into the Alaskan wilderness, I think it was. Yeah, built his own log cabin and in many ways lived off the land. He also got things supplied to him by plane, but yeah, he lived in a log cabin out in the wilderness. For some reason, this this dystopian C40 consortium, C40 cities just somehow reminds me of that. Yeah, time to escape the Matrix, I guess. So if you have ever, I have no words. Crazy stuff. I guess it's time to escape the Matrix or escape the 9 to 5 rat race so we can set ourselves up to avoid the madness that might be coming. So yeah. If you want to escape the 9 to 5 rat race, like myself, I'm in the process and on the journey to doing it myself. I'm planning to do it with a paid community, amongst other things. If you want to build a paid community, the last few weeks, I've been interviewing several real-life success stories of people that are making at least $10,000 in profit per month by running a paid community. I'm going to interview at least 30 of them. So far, I've not interviewed all 30, but I've interviewed a bunch of them. And you can find it on communitycashcows.com. Paid communities. Why should you build a paid community? It's not an option for everyone, but it might be for you. It's really trending these days. It's a trending and growing industry or niche. And it's a lot easier to build a business in an industry that is growing compared to an industry that is stagnant or even shrinking. That's one thing. You can provide a lot of value with a paid community. Tremendous value if you do it correctly. You don't have to be an expert to do it. You can launch it with very little capital, sometimes even for free. And there's basically very little competition from other paid communities when it comes to many industries, niches, categories out there. So yeah, it might be something to look into. It might be a good option, you know. And a lot of paid communities can be built while you still have a job. You can build it as a kind of side hustle and gradually grow it until the income is so high that you can then decide what you want to do. But yeah, check it out on communitycashcows.com. Take care and God bless.